G'day ladies and gents, and welcome back to War Thunder. Today I'm going to be showing you something a little bit interesting. So, for a little bit of context, we're not going to talk about a single vehicle, we're going to be talking about an entire lineup. And this lineup is 5.7 Germany. You can see I'm running the Ostwind, the B2, the Tiger E, the Panther A, the Dornier 217 E2, and the VFW. Now, the VFW itself is a very, very decent vehicle, but in this situation, I'm going to end up getting killed very, very early. And, essentially, I'm going to redeem myself and still come on top of the team by quite a substantial margin. In fact, a very large margin. Now, you can see here the VFW is actually reasonably quick. It seems to be quite a lightweight vehicle, and as a result, you can hit some pretty decent speeds, particularly in the downhill slope. And what I'm basically going to do is try and rush for the B cap and see how well the VFW holds up in essentially a cap defense situation. Am I going to be able to use its limited gun depression? Am I going to be able to use its turret rotation? Am I going to be able to use its armor and its survivability? Because the VFW, as you may already know, is actually surprisingly tough. It's very, very difficult to take out in a single shot unless you hit the ammo rack or you shoot the hull. And a lot of people tend to shoot the turret, especially if that's all that you expose. Now, the VFW is not really designed to take on brawling situations like this, and Poland really isn't a good map for it. To be honest, I probably should have spawned on the south spawn and gone and sniped into B, or gone very far north and tried to flank the A cap. But unfortunately for me, my demise will come shortly, because if you look at the minimap, I wasn't paying attention, and it turns out that the entirety of my team seems to have disappeared into the northern and southern caps, and some are camping on the spawn hill. You can see I'm starting to take a couple of shots. I think that's a heat shell from a PTSD 76, and it looks like one of my gunners or one of my loaders has gone to sleep. He's quickly replaced, and you can see as the crew start to get lower and lower, some of the crew members look like they've fallen asleep, which obviously, we know that they've been taken out, but for game rating reasons, they've just gone to sleep. Shh. Look. They've all got their heads down. They're just having a little nap. Oh, look, the gunner wakes up. I love it. But yeah, I'm very quickly dispatched by a comet, and angry me is a little bit upset that the the team has sort of abandoned me. I mean, you can't really blame me, but at the same time, I should probably have paid a bit more attention. Now, I'm a little bit frustrated at this point. I'm not really in a good mood, and it's sort of tilted me a little bit. I want to get some footage. I want to make a video on the VFW, and all I get is a team that sort of abandons me. I thought they were following me at first. Obviously, I didn't look hard enough. That's my fault, and that's something for me and me by myself to be angry at. But never mind. We're here to redeem ourselves. Now, this is the Dornier 335 B2, or as a good friend of mine, Oddballs, likes to call it, the Doomdiver. Why is it called the Doomdiver? You'll see in a minute. You'll see in a minute the absolute carnage that this thing is capable of. And this is without the bombs. I don't have any bombs on board. And you can see I'm going for a quick strafing run on a PT-76. Set his engine on fire. That's some poor shooting. I could have had him very, very easily there. I go for a strafing run on a Sherman, and I actually managed to penetrate his turret. He seems to get a little bit upset and decides to bail, leaving me with a nice little kill. And the PT-76 ends up getting taken out, so there's a kill and an assist. I see something through those trees, and I start to shoot towards it. I get a critical hit on, I believe, a KV-1, and life moves on. I'm using a little bit of flaps to try and keep myself from hitting the trees, and you can see I'm just looking at getting quick shots on enemies, and I've already racked up 2 or 3 assists at this point, or potential assists, and I've already gotten myself a nice little kill. Now I'm looking for anything on C, and I'm basically looking to support my team. I'm getting a feel for where my team is at and where they need the support, and I'm basically destroying anything that needs to be taken out for my team to advance safely. You can see they've already basically taken the northern side of the map, and they're beginning to press the spawn. And exactly what I need to do is take out what's on B, make sure B and the town itself is secured, make sure C and that area there is secured, and then we can push the spawn with CAS very, very early on in the game, and essentially lock them out of the match by spawn trapping them with CAS. You can see there's an M16. I need to get rid of that for my own safety, and then I can move on to other lighter targets. T-34s are very, very vulnerable to attacks from the Doomdiver, and it really, really comes to show. German CAS at this tier is probably the best CAS. I really, really love Germany 5.7 for its close air support. You can really lay the hurt on the Allied teams, particularly teams that have Shermans, Comets, Challenger, Avengers, more Shermans, T-34s. You can really, really, absolutely lay the hurt on like such lightly armored vehicles from the top. Whereas the Allies don't really get that liberty. They get the bombs, they get the Wyvern, they get, P-47, Hellcat, Corsair. Sure, they're good, but nothing quite compares to the Doomdiver. I really, really love this plane. Tech tree equivalents include the ME410 B6R3 and the Dornier 335A0, I believe, or the A1. I believe both of them are more or less interchangeable. I do really, really like this plane, though. And you can see I'm starting to really rack up the score points. I'm at something like 4,500, and it's not stopping anytime soon. Another SPAA is coming up, and I'm starting to run out of MG151s, and you can see I... That never gets old. Oh, that never gets old. That's the beauty of CAS, isn't it, though? You're always a menace, and that's the thing. They're starting to bring out their SPAA, and if you get desperate, I don't really condone it, but if you're getting desperate, you can throw in a ram. I wouldn't recommend doing it straight off the bat though, because that's very, very poor usage of spawn points. Very poor, in fact, considering that it's about 150 SP to take out an AA and 600 SP to take out a plane. You're essentially trading less spawn points for more. And this is exactly what Tanks RB is about. Who can maximize the efficiency of their spawn points? And you can see there in the Doomdiver, I was able to really, really make some spawn points for myself and take away spawn points for the enemy. It's kind of like resources in a real-time strategy. Who can manage them the best? And in this case, our team is doing far, far better. We've managed to completely surround their spawn now, and it's just a matter of time before the enemy runs out of spawn points and spawns, and then that'll be the victory. A very clean, very easy victory. And there we go. I'm dropping a nice pair of bombs on the poor T-34 over there. I was going to get one off on the Su-76 or the Su-57 or whatever that little thing is, the dinky little tank destroyer. But no matter, I still have two SC-1000s left, and I can see there's a big juicy boy just looking for a bomb. And I can pretty much freely fly over their spawn, drop it, and get two nice little kills. Obviously, don't do this straight off the bat. If there are more higher priority targets, for example, on the cap circle, take them out before you take out stuff in the spawn. This is a classic situation of what is called a spawn push, where the allies or your allied team has managed to do such a good job that they have locked the map and they've retained so much map control that the enemy is basically forced to retreat or to die in their spawn. So, as you can see, it's just a matter of time. There's not a whole lot the enemy team can do, and that is simply because our team has just outplayed them. This is, in my opinion, fair and reasonable, whereas if I were to do this straight off the bat, where we have all three, or the enemy has all three caps, I would consider that to be a bit scummy. In this case, no, not so much, because we've essentially won the control of the map by our own merit, and we deserve to push into their spawn because our team was so good. Now, as you can see, I've managed to distract the P-47. He's thinking, oh yeah, easy target. But, if the enemy has fighters up, you need to prioritize the fighters first, because the fighters pose a greater threat to you than a bomber that has dropped all of his bombs, unless your pride is hurt a little bit and you need to sort of get that revenge kill. I mean, obviously, getting a bit of revenge is a little bit nice, but if there are higher priorities, there's nothing that you should really do more than prioritize those fighters. Now, as you can see here, that is an SPAA. He should have been engaging the planes, but there are so many enemies left that there's nothing he can do. His team has died, his match is lost, and he's maybe trying to spawn and, grab a little bit of pride, save a little bit of pride. But honestly, at this point, if I were the enemy team, I would literally just stop spawning. I would have stopped spawning as soon as we were getting bombed in the spawn. It's just not worth paying the repair cost. It's not worth taking the death. It's not worth wasting your time in a battle where you could have been doing something else in the next match. This match will be over in 3 or 4 minutes, and the RP that you will have gained, or the time that you will have spent in battle for the tasks, is really, really not worth the frustration. You'll have spent an extra 20 or 30 seconds when you could have just jumped out of the match, maybe taken a crew lock, switched nations, or maybe not taken a crew lock and just jumped into the next match. This is how you absolutely destroy an enemy. And letting them spawn so many times, they can do whatever they want. I'm happy to take the kills. And I'm happy to take the 8,000 or so score that has gone to my first place position. 8,000 points. That's insane. I don't think I've ever gained so many points in a Tanks RB match, ever. I've gained something like 15,000 in Air RB, but never so much as 8,000 points in a single battle of Tanks RB, especially not so quickly. And this is how you do it. You jump into a tank, you do your damage, you jump into a plane, you do your damage, you jump into another plane, you do your damage, and then you jump into a tank and finish them off. Obviously, it doesn't work always, but it is a very solid method to gain a first place position, and it is also a very solid method to finish off an enemy that is already on the losing side. Anyway, ladies and gents, thank you for watching, take care, and I'll catch you next time.